Homer and Apu has one of my all-time favourite Simpsons songs in it. That song is, of course, Who Needs the Kwik-E-Mart? And this episode as a whole I really love, partly because I think, and I didn't really realise this until I sat down to think about this, but I think Apu is one of my favourite characters. And pretty much every, if not every episode that he is, of which he is at the centre, I tend to really enjoy, and Homer and Apu is no exception. This is the 13th episode of the 5th season, directed by Kirkland, written by Greg Daniels. This aired originally in February 1994. And in this one, I won't go into too much detail, I won't give any real spoilers, but something happens that leads Apu to losing the Kwik-E-Mart. And as the song suggests, who needs the Kwik-E-Mart? The Simpsons try and lift up his spirits, show him that there are other things in life. Life doesn't end. It doesn't begin and end with the Kwik-E-Mart. But of course, this was Apu's everything. So there's a massive void in his life now, and he begins to realise that he really does need the Kwik-E-Mart, but will he ever get it back? I won't say what happens, of course, but I really thoroughly enjoyed this one. It's one of the first times where we really get to know Apu as a person. He's appeared a lot up until this point, of course, when Homer, occasionally Marge or Bart go into the Kwik-E-Mart. Has Lisa ever been into the Kwik-E-Mart on her own? Quite possibly, I just can't think of a time. But certainly one of the others will go into the Kwik-E-Mart, we'll see Apu. But here we get to really know not just about him, but also about what the Kwik-E-Mart means to him. And I think it's a really lovely episode, very sweet, very sentimental. Who Needs the Kwik-E-Mart as a song, as I said, I absolutely adore. I really, truly love that one. And I think it's a really brilliant, all-round, well-developed episode with a great narrative. Loved kind of the Simpsons' role in this and how they kind of rallied around, and Marge taking Apu to the larger grocery store, and Apu being horrified at the contrasts between that store and his, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't really know this until I sat down to think about this episode in more detail, but I think it may be one of my favourite episodes. Certainly one of my favourite from the 5th season. And I have to say, the episode that comes next, Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy, I love as well. So it's possible, I'm currently up to season 11 or season 12, and it's possible that season 5 is one of my favourites. Certainly Homer and Apu I love. Does the name mean anything, by the way? Does anybody know if the title Homer and Apu is maybe a parody on something or a nod to something? Because I feel like the title is not very good. But if it is, a parody or a nod to something that I'm just not aware of, then completely fair enough. But if it's just a random title, I feel like Who Needs the Kwik-E-Mart would have been a much better title. Nevertheless, Homer and Apu is the title, and the episode itself, I absolutely love. I have nothing but praise for this. We also have James Woods guest appearancing, which is not something that means too much to me, but I feel like that's definitely a selling point for some people. Homer and Apu, an absolutely beautiful episode.